Hello students, welcome back to Solar Learning. Hope you all are doing good. So, in the last sessions we discussed about the conflicting objectives of the various stakeholders of a company and how do we reduce those conflicts in the company by having the agency cost that we have studied under the agency theory. Then there is a role of information and there is a role of agreement. After this section, we are going to discuss a new section which is called as the value of a company. So students, before valuing a company, I would like to ask you students that if you go to the market and purchase something, how do you think that this value is appropriate? Okay, अगर आप किसी मार्केट में जा रहे हैं और आपको कोई ड्रेस या टॉप या शर्ट पसंद आती है and the shopkeeper says that it is costing ₹1000. So how do you think, how do you feel that this value is an appropriate value of this product or not? Do you think it? So how do you realize that? You feel that the fabric of the top or the shirt is good, that it will be long lasting, you will be able to retain it for 4 to 5 years, or maybe the color is good, or it is party wear that you can wear it in a party. So these are many things, or like it is under the exchange plan. The shopkeeper is saying if you have any problem with this product, you can exchange it within a week or within 10 days. So these are the many factors on what basis you decide whether you should go for this product at this price or not. This is how you give value to a product. Or similarly, suppose if you are manufacturing or selling some product, how you value some item. Suppose you are manufacturing sofa or the furniture. So you will give value to the product or your sofa or the furniture according to the first of the cost, what cost you have incurred to manufacture this product, then your brand value. Of course, if it is a very unique design, then of course you will have a brand value. So the investment that you have invested in your business, the amount you have that invested, is one of the factors which helps you to decide what value you should give to the item or the product. Similarly, if I give value to an asset or to an company, so how will I give the value? An asset, generally what happens in the market, what we do, either the expected returns the asset is going to give us. Suppose if I am purchasing a machinery for my business, for how long the machinery will give me the returns, और एक्सपेक्टेड रिटर्न्स को अगर हम डिस्काउंट बैक करें, अगर मैं कहूँ कि ये कंपनी या ये एसेट हमें फ्यूचर में 20,000 रुपीज़ अर्न करके देगा, तो आज की डेट में अगर मैं उसको रेट ऑफ रिटर्न से डिस्काउंट बैक कर दूँ तो आज के टाइम पे उसकी क्या वैल्यू होनी चाहिए? 7-8,000 अकॉर्डिंग टू द रेट ऑफ रिटर्न आई हैव अप्लाइड ऑन दिस कैलकुलेशन. So this is how I give value to an asset, and similarly I give a value to the company. Company के क्या returns होंगे, what I am expecting the rate of return from my business, from my company, is the value that I will give to the company. So generally the value of an asset is your present value of your expected returns. So in short and in brief, I will say the value I give to an asset is the present value of the expected returns. So what return I am expecting from that asset is the present value of that return is your value of the asset. So to value a company or an asset, I need the streaming of expected returns and the required rate of return. These are the two things that I require, that I need to value a company, right? So one thing is the stream of expected returns, what I am expecting, the returns, what returns I am expecting from this company or an asset, and the required rate of return. ठीक है. सो अगर स्टूडेंट्स मैं आपको बोलूँ कि आपके पास 100 रुपीज़ हैं और आपको कहीं इन्वेस्ट करने हैं, ठीक है, तो आप किस मोटिवेशन से, किस एम के साथ उसको इन्वेस्ट करेंगे कि क्या रिटर्न मुझे, क्या अगर मुझे 5% रिटर्न चाहिए तो क्या मुझे ये प्रोडक्ट 5% रिटर्न दे रहा है, और what returns can I expect from this product, right? These are the two questions that come to your mind. So these are the two things that I need to value a company, right? So there are various and many techniques available to give a value to the company. For example, DDM model. What is DDM model? It is dividend discounted model. So what happens basically when we discount back the dividends and the cost of equity, which will give me the value of the company. So हम generally क्या करते हैं, the future dividends that I am going to receive from a company and the cost of equity. So that is, what is equity, students? This is only the shares. Equity is the shares only. So the cost of equity and the discount back of your future dividends is your give value to the, this is your DDM model. So there are many techniques to give the value to the company that are beyond our text. So we will just discuss how to give the value to a company. So students, as we know, in a company we have not in hundreds, thousands, or even we can have the millions of shareholders. So every shareholders have their different desires, different needs, and it is not possible for any financial manager to fulfill the needs of all the shareholders. So basically, basic need of every shareholder is to maximize the profits, but then also they have the different view for the profits, different ways of profit they want to take. So we have different desires of different shareholders, and it is very difficult for the financial manager to fulfill all the desires of all the shareholders. So first of all, we will discuss that on which factors the desires and the objectives of the shareholders differs. So students, can you think, if there are 5 shareholders in a company, they can also have different desires or different needs. So what do you think, what differences they can have in their desires? So basically, first is attitude towards risk. Okay, one shareholder is very risk loving person. He is saying that yes, we can go for any risky project, but one is very risk averse. Risk averse as in who is not ready to go for the very risky project. So again, the basic aim is to have the maximum profits, but there is a difference in attitude towards risk. One is a very risk loving person, but one is risk averse person, right? So this is one of the factor, one of the difference. Now second is the taxes. Some people, some shareholder wants their marginal rates of tax, or maybe they just want the after taxed income, net profits they consider, or some they want they can pay the tax from their income. So this is again the different attitude or the different consideration of taxes. Now as we know, as a shareholder we get two types of income growth. One is the capital growth and one is the regular income. So if suppose you are one of the shareholder and I am also the shareholder for company, now you are saying, okay, I want, if I have invested 100 rupees, I want 5 rupees every 2 months from the company, and after that you can give me 110 only. But I am saying, okay, I don't want any 5 rupees in between, I do not want any regular income as much, but I want ki in the end I get 200 rupees. So this is again the difference, whether I want the capital growth more or I want the regular income. So this is one of the difference again, students. So there are many shareholders and their different views. So in a company it is very difficult for the financial managers or the managers to fulfill the desires of all the shareholders. Now students, if I say there is a market, means, as we have discussed, there is a capital market. Capital market means we have many options. अगर आप कहीं मार्केट में जाते हैं एक ड्रेस खरीदने, तो आपको एक शॉप पे ड्रेस पसंद नहीं आती है, और मे बी पसंद आई थी बट उसकी कॉस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा थी, कॉस्ट सही थी बट उसकी क्वालिटी अच्छी नहीं थी, क्वालिटी भी अच्छी थी बट मे बी द कलर आपको पसंद नहीं आया. तो बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हैं आपकी चॉइसेस में. अब आपको अपनी सारी चॉइसेस कंप्लीट करने के लिए आप यू हैव टू गो from one shop to another. So basically there is a market where you have the options to purchase the product of your choice. Similarly, the best part in the financial market is the market in the finance. That is, every shareholder has the option to choose in which company he or she wants to invest, which company is giving returns according to his or her choices. So students, this is very important, that what are your needs and which company is fulfilling your desires, right? So this market plays a very important role in fulfilling the desires of different shareholders. ठीक है, तो हमें हमारे पास क्या है, हर शेयर होल्डर की डिफरेंट डिज़ायर्स है, बट हमारे पास मार्केट है जहां आप अपनी पसंद की कंपनी जो आपकी डिज़ायर्स और नीड्स को फुलफिल करें, आप उन कंपनीज के शेयर परचेज कर सकते हैं. नाउ अब नेक्स्ट आता है, आपके पास 2 और 3 ऑप्शंस है, बट यू आर कंफ्यूज्ड फॉर विच कंपनी, बिकॉज देयर इज अनसर्टेनिटी. आपने अभी तक कंपनी की परफॉर्मेंस देखी या फिर अभी तक कंपनी ने कैसा परफॉर्म किया है, दैट यू हैव सीन, बट फ्यूचर अभी भी अनसर्टेन है. सो suppose if you have 2-3 choices between, like you have to choose between 2 or 3 companies, there are again methods to see the performance or the future performance of a company or the future performance of a financial manager. There is a method called EVA, which is economic value added. So you can check the performance of a financial manager with the help of the how much economic value is being added to the वैल्यू ऑफ द फर्म. तो अगर आपको लगता है कि कंपनी की वर्थ जो है 100 करोड़ की थी, एंड आफ्टर 2 years आफ्टर हायरिंग द न्यू टीम ऑफ मैनेजर्स, नाउ द कंपनीज वर्थ इज 120 करोड़, सो दैट मीन्स द मैनेजर्स हैव एडेड द इकोनॉमिक वैल्यू टू द firm. So this is one of the method. So this whole process known as the opportunity cost of capital. Opportunity cost means, as you if you are from the commerce background or you have the commerce in your 11th or 12th, you should know that what is the opportunity cost. If I am not buying this product, then what is the cost of purchasing, what is the opportunity that I am having of not buying this product. ठीक है, so this market works on the opportunity cost of capital. So basically your opportunity cost of capital is the difference between the returns of the 2 projects. So that is, if I am not going for this option, what is the return that I am getting in the next option. So this is your opportunity cost of capital, and you will realize that your whole market works on this opportunity cost. If I am getting this X salary in this company, then what if I resign and join the other company, what is the opportunity cost? Maybe I am getting X plus Y salary. So the market options that investors can invest, the companies who can have the different team working under them, the employees, everyone has this opportunity cost of capital, and the whole market works on the opportunity cost. So basically we have now learned that there are millions, thousands of shareholders in a big listed public company. Then they have different views, their attitude towards risk, their consumption, their needs are different, and the market will react according to the needs of the various shareholders, right? If most of the shareholders are going this way, then the market will also go this way. So this is how the complete capital market and the companies work together. Next topic is the corporate governance. Have you heard about the corporate governance? You must have heard these 2 words separately, the corporate word and the governance. So class, I'll explain these 2 words individually. Corporate, the corporate world means your companies, your financial markets, the companies working under as a corporate, where people are cooperating together and working for the same business. And the governance is a system which is controlling, right? For example, we have a government which is governing our country, so that means this government is having a system according which the country is running. So corporate governance is basically a system which is controlling and directing all the companies. So this is basically a definition of corporate governance, means a body or a system जो कंट्रोल कर रही है, जो डायरेक्ट कर रही है कि आपकी कंपनी को कैसे वर्क करना है. अदरवाइज स्टूडेंट्स, व्हाट विल हैपन, एक कंपनी इस वे में काम कर रही है, एक कंपनी इस वे में काम कर रही है, एंड देयर इज नो पर्टिकुलर सिस्टम दैट ऑल द कंपनीज आर फॉलोइंग इफ देयर इज नो गवर्नेंस. ठीक है, सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन द मार्केट टू हैव द कॉर्पोरेट governance. Now what happens if there is a corporate governance? If you are paying, suppose, the dividends to the shareholders in a particular manner, then the other company has to follow the same. So there are some rules that has to be followed by every company, right? So in every sector you will see, like for banks they have the गवर्निंग बॉडी एज RBI. अगर आप इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के लिए बात करेंगे तो वहाँ पर आपकी रेगुलेटरी बॉडी है IRDAI. तो अगर आप स्टॉक एक्सचेंज की बात करेंगे तो वहाँ पर है SEBI. तो हर एक सेक्टर में एक गवर्निंग बॉडी होती है. इसी तरह से एक कंपनीज को रेगुलेट करने के लिए, कंपनीज को डायरेक्ट एंड कंट्रोल करने के लिए वी हैव कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस. नाउ देयर आर सम कोड्स ऑफ दिस कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस जिसको फॉलो करके कंपनीज वर्क करती हैं. नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस दी कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस कोड्स. सो स्टूडेंट्स, द मेन प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ द कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस code are under the 5 major headings. What are those 5 major headings? First one is the leadership, right? So every company should have enough skills or ability to have a leadership quality, right? Next is the effectiveness. Whatever you are doing in the market should be effective, should grow the market, not discourage the market. So your business should be effective enough in the market, right? So hence your company should have the leadership qualities and the effectiveness. Next is the remuneration. Remuneration means it is not that you are just earning profit yourself, you are remunerating others also. Remunerating others means you are paying the market pay to your employees, you are distributing your profits enough to the shareholders and as a dividends and as a capital growth. You are paying enough taxes to the government. So you are actually remunerating all the stakeholders that you should in a business. It is not that it is just you are doing the business for your profit. No. Next is the accountability. You should be accountable for whatever you are doing. It is not key. If you have done something and you say that I don't know how it happens, I don't know ये कैसे हो गया, you should be accountable for what you are doing. So students, the effectiveness, your work should be effective enough. Leadership, you should have a leadership quality. Remuneration, you should remunerate each and every stakeholder in your company. Then it is accountability. Your work, your business should be accountable enough. Then the last point is the relations with the shareholders. Students, if you want to grow as a company in the market, the major is you should have a best and the good relations with your shareholders. If your shareholders, which are basically the owners and the investors in your company, if they are not satisfied with your performance and your returns, then your company cannot grow at all. So these are the 5 main principles under the corporate governance codes. That is I am repeating the 5 main principles: leadership, effectiveness, remuneration, accountability, and your relations with the shareholders. Fine students. So now we are going to study the codes that the company has to follow. In order to carry out the responsibilities, in order to carry out your business, who are basically the responsible for your work in business? Not shareholders, they are the board of directors, because shareholders are just appointing the board of directors to carry out their business. Now, to carry out all the responsibilities and your business, the board of directors should follow the corporate codes, the corporate governance code. The board must follow the code's guidance, which are underlying the principles of good practices. So what are the good practices that the board must follow to carry out its responsibility? So first is accountability, that we have already covered. Your work should be, your business should be accountable enough. Then there should be a transparency. The policies you are following, the processes you are following, the strategies you are following should be transparent enough. It is not you are doing everything yourself. The policies should be transparent. Your customers, your stakeholders, your creditors should know your policies. Next is your probity. Students, have you heard about the word probity? Probity is the use or the following the ethical behavior. What do you mean by ethical? Ethical means which is the standardized, which is the legal behavior. That is, you cannot do anything wrong to someone in order to provide good to yourself or any other one, right? So your work, and you should be ethical in the business, that is, you are not doing wrong. I will give you one example of ethical behavior. Suppose you are taking the raw materials from the farmers in free of cost, because you have a hold in that area. You are not paying the farmers, and you are manufacturing and selling the products at very high rates. So this is not ethical, because you should pay from what you are purchasing and then sell at your rates. It is not that you are not purchasing and you are not paying anything to the farmers and you are taking their raw materials, which is not ethical, right? So this is probity, that is use of the ethical behavior. And then we should, or as a board of director or as a manager, we should work as the long term success of the company. What do you mean by long term success? You should assume that your business will work for the infinity period in the करंट स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म. इट इज़ नॉट कि आप ये सोच के काम करेंगे कि नेक्स्ट 5 years में मेरा बिजनेस बंद हो जाएगा, नेक्स्ट 5 years में मैंने इतना कमा लिया, दैट इज़ इनफ. नो, यू शुड ऑलवेज थिंक फॉर द लॉन्ग टर्म सक्सेस ऑफ द कंपनी. इट्स ओके इफ योर ग्राफ इज गोइंग डाउन, इट्स ओके इफ यू आर नॉट करंटली earning enough profits, but you should always think for the long term. If you are not earning enough profits today, but maybe you will earn double of the profits tomorrow. So the code is saying that you should be always go for the long term success of the company. So these are the main good practices or the codes that the company should follow. One is your accountability, transparency, probity, and long term success of the company. So students, main is to follow the main principles and the codes in order to have the success, in order to work properly in the business. Then only your company can grow. If you do not follow any of these codes or the principles, then you cannot go or you cannot run your business for the long term. And it is also the best way to proper way to run the business. So this is all about the corporate governance, their principles and their codes. So students, in this section what we have learned actually what is the value, how to give the value to the company. Then we have what is the goal or of the financial manager, and the last topic says about the corporate governance. I hope all the topics, students, are now clear to you. You can refer to the section again if you have any doubts. Thank you and keep learning. Stay safe.